Hi, I'm Tim Carter. This is Ask the Builder. Welcome to today's live stream. It's a great day. December, what is today? The 14th, 2021. Wow, we are only, boy, what, 11 days from Christmas. It's crazy. 11 days. I know this because I'm going to be really busy the next 3 or 4 days. And so I decided to get my newsletter out that goes out on Sunday morning. I always publish it at 5 o'clock in the morning, and it gets sent out. So I can queue it up, and I'm not there at 5 in the morning hitting a send button. Believe me, I decided to get it done today, and it's a really short one because it's the issue before Christmas, and I just thought, I just cannot believe it's so close to Christmas. Okay. Sponsor, Stain Solver. Great stuff. Come on. If you've not tried it, you should. Really, really good product. It's just a certified organic oxygen bleach. Simple as that. And it's a powder that you mix with water. I suggest warm or hot water, and it dissolves pretty quickly. Stir it up, and you end up with a solution that looks like water. There's no odor to it. It's fabric safe. It's color safe. If you had regular chlorine bleach like this is a dark blue. I know it looks black probably on the screen, but if I got if I put a drop of chlorine bleach here, within a few minutes, there'd be a white spot. Because the chlorine bleach is so powerful that it actually, here's what happens in case you don't know. The chlorine bleach it's like a miniature liquid nuclear bomb. And it goes into the fabric, and it boom, it blows up the synthetic dye molecules. I mean, it just blows them up like. And when you blast apart a synthetic dye molecule, it's no longer a dye molecule. It's parts of it, and as a result, it loses all of its color. The only reason this sweatshirt, this hoodie, is dark blue on the outside is because it's got a certain molecular structure in that synthetic dye. All right, enough chemistry, right? So Stain Solver doesn't do that. Stain Solver is like instead of being a nuclear bomb, Stain Solver is like a little cruise missile. So it goes in, surgical strike, sees the stain, and it takes the stain molecule, boom, and it blows the stain molecule up, but it's not powerful enough to blow up the synthetic dye molecule. All right. Got any questions? Just go to stainsolver.com. Ask me. There's a contact page. You can fill out a form, ask a question. I'm happy to answer it. I want to talk now very quickly. This is, I asked for this tool. I get these press releases. I tell you this all the time. Today, by the way, we're going to be talking about emergency tools. And I want you to be part of the discussion. I want you to help build the list. So while I'm talking here right now, I want you to be thinking, use those little gray cells up there, those tiny gray cells, and think about your dream list of emergency tools. In other words, think that you're in an emergency, a disaster's happened at your home, maybe the power's out, but you need to do some things. All right. So what would you need? So start. Feel free to type it in the list here. Type in whatever you think would be beneficial, because I got to tell you right now, the firemen, the fire department, the police department, they're not coming to your house. I don't care how many times you call 911, they're not coming. I don't care what the 911 operator says, they're not coming. All right, we'll talk about that in a few minutes. But right now we're going to talk about this. So I get these press releases all the time. I'm trying to get it up to the daggone camera. Rotate it around. Klein tools. Look what it says. 3/4 inch and 9/16. And it's this wonderful blue plastic coating, but it is a socket. All right. So, it's a socket that you would put on an impact wrench, like an impact tool, like a impact driver, or just your regular hand ratchet. But here's what's unique about it. It's 2 sizes in one. And I have to hold it this way. I'm trying to show it so you make sure you see the light. So this inner hole here where I'll put my baby finger in, where my baby finger goes in, that's for 9/16. But do you see that? See this rim here? Well, guess what? That's spring loaded. So when I push that down, I know it's really hard to see. Now all of a sudden you have the diameter of this out here, which is for 3/4 inch. So you have 2 sockets in one. Pretty clever, huh? They may not have invented this. I'm not a mechanic, so I don't keep up on all the latest sockets. All right. So, but it's pretty clever to have 2 sizes in one. And also this blue, the whole purpose, one of the reasons they came out with this tool or invented it is I've had the same problem. All the sockets look the same. And especially when you're kind of in the same size range, you grab one, it's too big, it's too small. So now by color coding it, you just know, that's the 9/16 and 3/4. My guess is what's going to happen is they're going to introduce a whole set of these, where they just range, and there's going to be 4 sockets that cover 8 different sizes. I just have a feeling this is just the test. This is the first one. Then they'll introduce a set. I'll bet you within 6 to 9 months. So pretty clever. I've got a link for it in the chat for you at the top if you want to go buy it. I think there's got to be a mistake at the Amazon website. There has to be a mistake. Because when I saw what the price was for this thing, when you click that link, go ahead and click that link up there. Click the link in the chat way at the top and look at what this thing cost. And remember last week, do you remember the live stream? And I've still got it on the floor behind me, that 216-piece mechanic set from Craftsman, what that cost? So, I mean, the Klein people, they make great stuff. Remember, I've still got their flashlight. I keep their flashlight up here in case there's a power outage. Love this LED flashlight. Klein, they're in the past 5 or 10 years, really, it started about 10 years ago. They are aggressively bringing out a huge line of new tools, and they are such high quality. I went on a factory tour. There's probably about 8 years ago down in Texas, and it's a wonderful company. It's a family. It's a privately held company. Well, at the time I went, it was a privately held company, and they, it was just family, just a family ran this company. And, I think the founder may have still been alive. Maybe not. Maybe no, because the Klein name goes way back because of their original tool was the linesman's pliers. That's what their logo is. So the founder must be dead. Anyway, good company, great tools. Highly recommend them. Remember, if you have any questions too, I'm saying go ahead and put in the chat any tool suggestions you have. If you have a question about your home, I don't care what it is, your office building, your church, your hospital, go ahead, your tent. Maybe you live in a tent. I mean, I'm not kidding. It's not uncommon. I'm happy to answer your questions, but I don't have ESP. You have to type them into the chat. The next thing I want to talk about, and we won't spend a lot of time on this because it's kind of a common sense thing. Unless you've been living under a rock or you've been in a coma, and that could happen. We had a really, actually, I saw last night on the news a video of the tornado. And I think they were saying for sure it was an F5. And once I saw the photos the next day, I was pretty certain of it. So an F5 is like the worst tornado you can get. I mean, and it's just this huge monster, real live blender. I mean, that's what it is. And that's why they're so destructive. And that's why it's so easy to get killed by a tornado. So, because you have to understand that with this swirling wind, that the tornado, it's no different than a blender. Think about when you go to make a smoothie and you put all these vegetables or fruits in it, and you put a little water or liquid or lemonade, whatever you use to make a smoothie. and then you hit the switch and it starts swirling, in the blender. So you have all those little chunks of fruit and little chunks of vegetables. They're getting cut up by the blade. But at first, they're not all cut up too small. So these things are spinning around. So in a tornado, what happens is the winds, they start picking things up. Like it picks up a concrete block like you would pick up a toothpick. I'm serious. So a concrete block weighs 40 pounds. All right. So imagine this concrete block spinning around in the air at I don't know, 120, 150, 200 miles an hour, and you're standing there and you get hit by it. Boom. Well, I mean, your head would explode like a watermelon. All right. So or 2x4s. In other words, here's a 2x4 spinning around, but it's I guarantee you it's going to be like this. It's going to be spinning around like a missile. And so you can go watch simulations of this. You can watch where they do a testing for hurricane glass and things like that, where they shoot 2x4s out of a cannon, these engineers. And that's what's happening. So these tornadoes are so flipping dangerous. All right. Hurricanes, whatever it might be. Even just a wildfire, whatever. But so you need emergency tools. What's going to be on your list? What do you wish you have in your garage or in your little bunker, so that once you're still alive and you need to do whatever, what is it you're going to have in your toolkit? Hey, Steve, how you doing? Yes, that's exactly right. That's what tornadoes do. You can actually see pictures of it. You can go online, these storm chasers. There's got to be hundreds and hundreds, maybe thousands of videos on YouTube about tornadoes. I mean, you actually see big things you'll actually see like the whole roof, like the chunk of a roof spinning around. I mean, that roof might weigh 3,000 pounds. I mean, it picks up cars and trucks and spins them around. All right. So you don't want to get hit by that. All right. So anyway, emergency tools. I just thought this would be kind of an interesting live stream to do very briefly, only because of what happened last Friday. And, the truth be told, if you're in one of those monster tornadoes like that, and you had your emergency tools stored out in your shed, well, they're in the next county. I mean, that's the trouble, is that, but that's if you got a direct hit by the tornado. And that's what many people focus on. In other words, when you look at those videos, I shared that video yesterday in the live stream. Your eye just goes to the center, the center of the path of the tornado. Well, you might be just a third of a mile away, and instead of getting hit with, I don't know, 200-mile-per-hour winds, your house gets hit with 90-mile-per-hour winds. So your house survives, but you got a lot of broken glass. You got some shingles off, but you didn't get hurt, but your house is a mess. All right. So that could be you, that could be you. Same thing as with respect to a flood. Will, how you doing? Great to see you here. No problem. Like I told you, you don't have to stress out about being on the live stream. Don't stress out about it. It's not, there's no money involved. That's why you shouldn't get stressed about things where there's no money involved, just so you know. I mean, it just doesn't, I don't know what to say. All right. So anyway, just simple little things that I can think of. When you think, I don't know how, it was one of my major tools that I used when I was building, just those simple, crazy little pry bars. They're about 2 inches wide, very hardened steel. They're miniature crowbars. They're so handy. You can do a lot of things with that. Of course, if you can get a cordless reciprocating saw, and have some extra blades around, some, coarse wood cutting blades, that would allow you to make a temporary shelter. Pipe wrenches. My friend, my really, really good friend, very good friend. He's like right at the top of the list. Steve, my buddy Steve, lives out in Southern California, and I mean, it's earthquake country, okay? So a lot of people there, they're very aware of it. They know about it. And almost all the houses out there are heated with natural gas. The gas meters are supposed to be equipped with a special valve. He taught me this. I did not know this. That it's got like a ball in it, and if there's a big earthquake, supposedly, and I could be wrong on this, okay, that this ball shuts it just gets in the way and it blocks the flow of gas because they don't want a bunch of natural gas and people's houses catching on fire. But instead of counting on the little ball, why not just have your own pipe wrench and know how to use it and know how to turn the gas off to your home? I mean, something simple like that. So simple tools like that. Um, Yeah, well, just before you got here, I was talking about that, how those big tornadoes, like the F4s and the F5s, I mean, they can pick up a cinder block. I mean, I said it's like you or I picking up a toothpick. A cinder block only weighs 35, 40 pounds, an 8 by 8 by 16. And if Steve were here, they would be called breeze blocks. By the way, if you remember a week or so ago, Steve from the UK asked about if we had breeze blocks in our house here, our houses in the United States, and I thought, what in the world is a breeze block? Never heard of it before. So anyway, all it is, I went and looked it up. After the live stream, I typed breeze block into Google, and it's just regular concrete block. Nothing fancy about it at all. I mean, they're just regular, and so the answer would be if Steve was here. Steve, if you're here, yes, we use breeze blocks in houses in Florida and in other places where we build masonry houses. But most houses in America are built with lumber. We'll use the concrete block or the breeze block in the chimneys, things like that. A lot of times they're used a lot for foundations, for crawl spaces, shallow foundations. I've laid thousands and thousands of them myself. So anyway. Okay, let's get caught up here. Hi, silver coin collecting. I've got a few pieces of silver. My first, just so you know, this is a little sidebar. That's why I love this. I love the live stream because just you get to go off topic a little bit. The first piece of silver I ever got to collect was from my best friend back in grade school and high school. He got married a year before I did, and I was in his wedding. And the gift that he gave all of the, what do you call us, groomsmen? I don't know I can't remember. All the guys that just get, whatever we dressed up in. I think we got suits. I don't know, tuxedos, whatever. He gave us each a piece of 1 ounce piece of pure silver. I still have it. And on mine, I think he gave a special one to each person. On mine, it was, at the time he knew I liked clipper ships, and there was a clipper ship, the old ones from the 1800s, like the Cutty Sark and the Thermopylae. Those are two famous clipper ships. And then on the back, of course, it was blank. And, he engraved the date, or the date of the wedding was engraved on it. It's very, very cool. So, but I also have some other silver too. 8-bit vinyl. Hi, Tim. I was wondering if you can share your knowledge, anything you know about dry ditches or drainage away from the house. Can you cover the top layer of gravel with topsoil grass? Yeah, groomsmen. Correct. That's right. Well, thanks. All right. So, yes, of course they would be groomsmen because it's the bride and the groom. Where's my head today? All right. So, there, crutch word. See, look at that. 8-bit vinyl. Well, the answer is yes, I can share my knowledge. But as you might suspect, and I've said this at least 50 times during the past month or 5 weeks that I've been doing these live streams, what you want to know, it's in such detail at my website or on my website that you simply can't believe it. And so I would highly recommend that you go to askthebuilder.com, and I would type into the search box, I would type in drainage, and that's going to pretty much, because I can tell you that whatever columns that I wrote about this topic, it would cover, that word would have been used in the column. But here we'll go over it very quickly. The biggest problem with most houses is that they are not situated on the lot high enough, if that makes any sense. And once again, I know I asked for it for Christmas. Maybe I'll get it. I need the dry erase board so I could draw this for you really quickly. Here's what the ideal situation would be if you were building your home, is that just think about, actually, you go back to medieval times, the guys who built the castles, they weren't stupid. They had figured this out. All right. So think about the typical castle. Well, the castle's up high, because you want the high ground. All right. So that you shoot down on people. And a lot of times they're surrounded by a moat. All right. Well, the moat was there for a defensive reason, but in our case, the moat becomes a ditch, which is what you're asking about. And the water that would normally want to come to your house, it can't. Gravity pulls, because of the ditch and the ground sloping away from your house on all four sides, the water is naturally pulled away. Your job, though, is to make sure that those ditches connect with one another, just like a moat around a castle, and that at least at one point, maybe two, that it drains, that it kind of tapers off and goes to the lowest spot of your lot. So, crutch word, I want to shoot myself. The point is, what I frequently see is that the builder has put the house too low into the ground, and the ground, at least one side or two sides, is sloping into the house. That's horrible. Horrible. If you have that situation, it's not the end of the world, because I created a 90-minute video, and this is another reason. I'm just going to tell you this right now. If you have not signed up for my newsletter, it's free. All right. It's free. You're never going to pay a cent for it. You have to do it, and you have to do it by January 2nd. I'm telling you, go sign up for my newsletter. Just go to the homepage of AskTheBuilder.com. Because on January 2nd, something's going to happen. Anyway, my college degree is in geology, and I've had a focus on hydrogeology. Hydrogeology is the study of groundwater. So I know what happens when it rains. I know what happens that the water does not go down to China. That's not what happens. And that the water is traveling sideways through the soil for the most part. And so if you put a gutter in the ground, like this little trench, 6 inches wide, 24 inches deep, put a perforated pipe in it, fill it all the way with nice gravel, the size of, I don't have one here. Like a grape, a big green grape, no bigger than a walnut, no bigger than that. But like green grapes. Imagine if you could just surround this pipe with green grapes, but they were rocks and no sand, just green grapes only. All the water comes to the soil, hits the green grapes, rocks. Whoa, it goes, whoa, let's go down. Goes into the round pipe, flows through the pipe, and gets away from your house. So that's what you need to know. And yeah, at the top, you could put, like, the top 1 inch of this tree, you could put some grass or sod, but if you have a big problem with overland water flow, I've had some people come to the website, send me videos of it raining around their house. And I'm telling you, they've got a 6-inch wide river flowing in their backyard or through their side yard. If I had a lot like that, I would never put grass on the top of this trench. I would want that water to go down into the pipe. And instead of a 4-inch pipe, I'd have a 6-inch pipe. Okay. Steve, remember, if you've got, if you have any other questions for your house, put them in the chat. Also, a little self-promotion here. If you like the things you hear, if you like what I'm telling you, if you think I'm saving you time and money, you can buy me an ice cream cone if you want. All right. I like mocha chip. It's my favorite flavor from Aglameses in Cincinnati, Ohio. They ship it to me. I mean, I get it shipped. They won't ship it in the summertime. It's too hot, but they pack it in dry ice and they ship it. And if you've not had it, you should get some. So it's Aglamesis, Aglamsis, aglamesis.com, mocha chip. So I've got a link right up there. You can buy me an ice cream cone if I'm saving you some time and money. All right, simple as that. All right, Steve Pawn. Do you know anything about the building of the Egyptian pyramids? Yes, I do happen to know something about it, believe it or not. and it was done probably much easier than you could ever imagine. All of these pictures you see of these huge inclined planes and all these slaves dragging these big granite blocks, on log rollers. No. There's a much easier way to do it. And one man could easily handle moving a huge block. I am going to actually, I'm going to share a video with you. I'm looking on, I'm trying to find this. I know I just saw this video on my site the other day. And I forget what the column it was in, though. It was fascinating, though. I didn't think it would be in this column, but it's a really great video of a man up in Michigan. Maybe you've seen it. If you've not seen it, you are going to be blown away. But this video, when you watch it, it's going to explain to you exactly how the Egyptians probably built the pyramids. It offers up at least one way. So. And I actually got his from this gentleman years ago. He's out of business now. You can't get it. I have his CD. He had a CD-ROM. I'm trying to get to the webpage on my internet. I don't even know if it's affecting the live stream, but I am having the hardest time. Oh gosh. All right. I cannot do what I want to do. So if you can maybe do it and I can't. So you're watching the live stream. I want you to go to my website right now, Wallet, and just go there. And in the search on the homepage, I don't care where you do it on. It could be any other page. I want you to type the word Wally, WALLY. So WALLY. I'm trying to do it on another screen. See if I can break through here. Every now and then I get this crazy API error. From Google, but right now the internet, at least here in New Hampshire, is slow as flipping molasses. It's so slow today. I cannot believe it. So here we go. Come on. This works. This is going to be remarkable. But when I share this video with you, and you see how simple it is, I haven't tried this. I want to retire. I'm getting ready. I'm trying to retire. And I want to actually do what the guy did in this video. And because, all right, I've got, here we go. I'm sorry, I'm hesitating here. I've got the search results coming back, but I'm not readily seeing the page where the video would be. Here we go. Let me just try to go to this one right here. I don't know. I can't find it. I'll just have to get another day. I'll find it for you. But anyway, here's what it comes down to. It's all about center of gravity. And what this guy did is, it's a really interesting story. But if you take a very heavy object and you put a small stone underneath it, kind of towards the center of it, to where the center of the gravity is, you can balance this stone, and you can spin it around. You can just you can spin it by hand, or you can use a stick, a long lever, like a giant, huge pipe wrench. And if you then offset it between two stones, you can actually move this thing. In this man, I know this sounds crazy. He probably did this 25, 30 years ago. He's probably dead now, but he owned a bunch of rural land with his sons up in Michigan, and his son wanted to move his pole barn. Think of how big a pole barn is. All right. Wally moved the pole barn as one unit all by himself, no help. So if Wally can move a pole barn, the Egyptians can pretty much move those big granite blocks. All right, so and he even shows how to lift them up, how to make them step. This guy built his own Stonehenge by himself. He basically he had these giant, huge rectangular blocks of concrete poured, and he showed exactly how they could have built Stonehenge. One man, one guy doing it by himself, not a whole army of people. So I hope that helps you. I will find that. I'll find that video and post it tomorrow. All right. So here, let me get caught up on the. Actually, I have to do something here. I got it. You know how it is with your kids. All right. So back again. Sorry. Let's get caught up. Eastwood, Merry Christmas to you. Yes, it's going to be in 11 days. Holy tomato. Getting it. Yeah, exactly. I don't know this where my server is. There could, well, this time of year, I think the internet gets stressed with people shopping. Could be all kinds of reasons, but I had a tough time there, but I got through. I have not had a chance to contact Zoe. I'm going to reach out to her probably after Christmas. Everybody, I mean, like, remember the old pinball machines, and you'd kind of jiggle them to get the ball where you want. If you hit it too hard, it's got a little switch in there. You'd tilt the machine, it would stop. So they didn't want you to cheat by moving the machine around. So everybody right now is about here, as far, and if tilt's up here, everybody's about here, or most people. So the last thing Zoe needs is to hear from me asking her about her house. So I'll reach out after the first of the year. Yes, Will, correct. Archimedes said, and I just wrote that in a column of mine. Archimedes said if he had a lever long enough, he could move the earth, and he's right. Simple mathematics, as long as the lever didn't bend. Obi, no one. Let's get this straight. Let's set some rules up. I don't think I've ever set any rules for the live stream. Let's set some rules up right now. No one has to apologize for being late. I'm just happy you're here. What's the old saying? Better late than never, right? So I'm just happy that you're here, and you can, like I said, you just hit the like button if you like what you're doing. If you really like what you're hearing, if you think I'm saving you some time and money, go ahead and buy me an ice cream cone. That's a fair deal, isn't it? Come on. And if Steve was here, I had some news for Steve. Yesterday, there we go. So Eastwood, this is exactly what I was going to talk about. Yes, I did not know about this. This thing you're talking about, the super chat function. Steve sent me in the chat a video. I watched the video once I stopped the stream. I saw exactly what he's talking about. That functionality is not on my channel. So fortunately, YouTube with us partners, or maybe, so I don't know that they offer with everybody, at least I do. I can chat. They've got help. Years ago, you could never get in touch with Google. They were invisible. You couldn't call them or anything. So I chatted up this young woman. I don't know where she was at in the world, but I told her, I said, hey, look at this video. How come I don't have this thanks button? I said, I'm the original home improvement channel on YouTube. I was the first one. I was one of the first 50 partners in YouTube. And I said, I don't have it, and then she came back and said, well, it's in beta, and you should be getting it soon. And when you do get it, you'll have an announcement on your studio channel, blah, 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 blah. So the bottom line is, exactly, I don't have it yet. They say it's coming. But here's the thing, though. Get this. And I don't know why, for whatever reason, if you go read about it, you can go to the Google, dig in deep into this super, what do you call it? Super chat. So guess what? It is not enabled during a live stream, which doesn't make sense to me. I'd love to know their reasoning behind that. In other words, the only way that you would be able to give me a tip, if I understand what I was reading, is you would have to wait and you'd have to watch this live stream as a replay. Then you could do it. Well, that doesn't make any sense. I mean, it makes sense for the people who watch it as a replay, but they should have it enabled during a chat. Whatever. So maybe it's coming. I don't. Maybe they haven't figured out how to do it yet, which I doubt. I don't know. But here's what you can do. You can change that because you have a lot more power than you might think. If you want to be able to give me a tip like right now in the live stream, you need to complain to Google. You need to complain to YouTube and say that's crazy. Because I a day later I'll forget to do it. But I wanted to be able to give that guy or the woman or whoever you're watching. It doesn't have to be me. I wanted to be able to do it right then. So you need to complain. Let me tell you, when enough people complain, things happen. It's that simple. And in fact, that's a really good point. I'll just say this right now. I've run my own business for, oh my gosh, almost 50 years. And here's the thing that if you've not run your own business, then you may not know this. If you're running a business and you don't get any complaints, you never get any letter of complaints, your phone never rings, no one's complaining, what typically happens is you think, wow, we're doing a fantastic job. Everybody loves us. No, that's not true. There could be a lot of people who are upset, but they're too busy, whatever. They don't complain. They just stop buying your product. So there's that daggone crutch word. You need to complain. If you want something from YouTube, you need to tell them. You don't need to be nasty. That doesn't move the football down the field. But you say, here's the problem. Here's why it is a problem. And please fix it. And just be polite. And magic will happen. Simple as that. Terriel, how you doing? Great to see you. Jack, call your grandkids. They can do it for you. Yeah, right. If they hack into YouTube. Good luck with that. Good luck with that. Not going to happen. If you have any questions about your home, you know what to do. Put them in the chat there. There's nothing hard about this. Nothing hard at all about it. Your questions are what fuel the live stream. Here, you'll find this kind of interesting. The other day, I think you'll find this interesting. So I watch the news sometimes at night. I try not to. I shouldn't say news. It's really opinion shows. That's what they are. They're not hard news. And I was the home improvement expert for the ABC and NBC affiliate in Cincinnati, Ohio, in the early 2000s. And I've been in the studio. I've actually been on the set, and I've been on the live news where some disaster had happened, a flood. And so they bring me in for a 3-minute segment. I'm up there on the desk with the news anchors. They're asking me questions. What you need to understand is that the newscast would be a half an hour. And of that half an hour, the newscaster, the anchor, might only be talking for, I'm not even going to say 12 minutes. But yet in your mind, you're thinking they're talking for the whole half hour. First of all, there's commercials. Then they may have a co-anchor. Then there's a sports guy. Then there's the weather guy. Then they've got the B-roll footage rolling of what, in other words, they may have a live reporter in the field. So even if they're on for an hour, like at nighttime, some of these cable networks have a host on for an hour. He's not talking for an hour. He might only be talking for the whole show. He might only talk 22 minutes. But here I am. For an hour, I'm talking for an hour. Because if I stop talking, here's what happens. That's pretty boring. So to make it interesting, I need to be answering your questions all the time. Here we go. Here we go. So 8-bit vinyl. Another question. I'm building a post and beam lean-to on sonotubes. Okay. Should I go 4 feet down on the sonotubes? Do you recommend lagging the 6x6 to the surface? Okay, that's a great question. And here's all you need to know. Once again, the answer to this question is on askthebuilder.com, but you might not know what to look for. You would look for, in your case, you would type, I want you to go back to Ask the Builder when you get a chance and type in frost or frost heave, 2 words. So, frost, F-R-O-S-T, and then heave, H-E-A-V-E. Type those 2 words into my search engine. Read all the columns that come back. That tells you all about the sonotubes. You're also going to see a really neat video about something that's much better than a sonotube. They're called, they're these orange forms. I think they're called form footer. I can't remember the name actually. And I used them. I've used them on my shed. I used them on my deck. They're the most amazing things. These things snap together. They have all the rebar already pre-cut. They have all the places where it snaps into place in the form. All you have to do is dig to the proper depth and then put this in. Make sure it's plumb, make sure it's exactly where you want it. And then you very gently fill around it. You put the dirt all the way around it, all the way to the surface, making sure, have a string in place, make sure it doesn't move, and, even maybe stake it out so it won't move while you're backfilling it and lightly compacting it. What's the advantage? The advantage is you can bring the wheelbarrow right up to it and pour the wheelbarrow. You cannot do that with the sonotubes. No, cannot do it. They're so hard to work with. It was a great concept, but it was just like software. It's version 1.0. So, software 1.0, it's buggy as can be. So the sonotubes, I would never use them. They're just a pain in the butt. Because with this other thing, you get to pour the footer and the pier at the same time. As far as connecting them, yes. Simpson Strong Tie makes they make an assortment of different connectors that connect the post to the concrete. You can get ones that are embedded in the concrete, but if you use that type, you have to be so good because it cannot be off 1/8 of an inch. I prefer to use the post bases where there's some slop, where you put in an anchor bolt, which still has to be pretty accurate, within 1/2 an inch, and then you put this post base on and you bolt the post base to the anchor bolt that's in the concrete. That's what I would use. So yes, you cannot just place the wood post on the sonotube. That's unacceptable. No way, we're not doing that. Hope that helped you. Remember, ice cream cone. If I'm helping you, feel free to buy me an ice cream cone. The link's way at the top. And I'm not here begging. I'm just trying to give you that option until such time as YouTube fixes this thing where you can do it automatically during the live stream. Remember, complain to him. You got to complain. There's a place on YouTube where you can send him suggestions or complaints. And once again, don't be nasty. Just tell him. And here's what you have to do. You always have to tell them why. Don't just say, please make the super thank you button work for Ask the Builder. No. You have to explain to them, you need to make the button work, and here is why you need to make it work. And that carries a lot of weight. All right. Talon. I've done 640 hours of plumbing trade school. Okay, good for you. I'm at 1,000 hours of service plumbing and wonder what my next step is. I'd like to concentrate on code and getting more certs. What's your take? No. No disrespect intended. Who cares about stupid pieces of paper that are up on the wall, certificates? You know what I'd be doing? If you have that much training, I would have, I don't know where you're at. I don't know if you're allowed to sit for an exam. I don't know what it takes. And 90% of the jobs that you would do, you don't even need a permit unless you're in the People's Republic of some really bad state here in the United States. I won't mention any names, but one of them is really close to me. Talon, you need to understand something right now. If you had access to my email, and you saw how frustrated homeowners are about not being able to find people to do work, you would go out tomorrow morning and you would buy or a truck, with a utility body. That's the type I had, a beautiful utility body with all those side cabinets. And you would be out there starting your own business, solving plumbing problems till the cows come home. And if you want to make the most amount of money, you want to do service work. You want to try to avoid new construction. New construction, there's all kinds of problems in new construction. It's okay to get into new construction maybe a little bit farther down the road or start a division. The problem is with new construction, it can take a while to get paid. Service business, for example, I'll give you an example here in my own neighborhood. A woman and her husband moved in. They were from Austin, Texas. They didn't know anything about New Hampshire. They don't know any of the craftsmen up here. I'm talking to her just a week after they moved in, and she says, "Hey, do you know any good plumbers?" I go, "Well, what do you need done?" And she told me, "Well, I just want to get some new ball valves put on underneath my all of my fixtures, all my faucets." So there are thousands of people who need work like that done. So it's not very hard. And here's the last piece of advice: just avoid the whole sewer drain cleaning thing. Don't even go there. Let the other guys do that. Let Roto-Rooter and Mr. Rooter and all those companies, they can do it till the cows come home. You know what? Who wants to mess with that? Just go there and fix people's leaking pipes. It's simple as that. That's what I would do if I were you. That's my advice. You've already got enough training. Now get out into the field and start stuffing your pockets with cash. All right. Here we go. Eastwood, strange that Tim, I'm able to send tips via Super Chat, another channel. Yeah, I know. Only 80,000 subscribers. What's up with that? Exactly. Why don't I have it? So you need, that's a great example, Eastwood. You need to go to YouTube right now, find how to contact them, and tell them that. Give them the address. Just say, I'm able to do this with this channel. They've only got 80K subscribers. And here's Tim, the flipping original home improvement channel on YouTube, and you're not giving them this feature. Are you crazy? So you need to tell that to YouTube. It doesn't do any good for me to do it. I'm telling you right now. They don't listen to me. They listen to people like you. Ice cream cone, yes. Okay, clarifying this. Okay, I got it. The 6x6s are around the entire perimeter. Good. Well, I imagine you're not going to put these 6x6s on the soil. So each 6x6 is going to be sitting on a pier or a full-blown foundation, something, right? Whatever it's sitting on, it's got to be connected to it. And Simpson Strong Tie makes a wide assortment of post bases. Just type that into Amazon. Simpson Strong Tie post bases, and wait till you see what you see. I mean, they have exactly what you want. All right, Chimp with a car. 1973, Florida stick home built on an 8x8 wood post on sand, no concrete. Okay, I can believe that. People do strange things. I mean, once sand is compacted, it's okay. It's just that it washes out really easily. Understand that what sand is, a lot of people don't really think about what sand is, because it's so small, they don't really look at it. All sand is small, tiny pieces of rock. So it's okay to build on sand. It's just that you can take a garden hose and erode it, and then your 8x8 posts go down. All right. So that's the problem. That's a problem by not putting it on concrete. All right. You say 6x3 anyway, 4 of 18 are rotted through 100%. Barrel jack up and shore with new timber. Temperatures. Yeah. All right. So what you're going to have to do is, I don't know that you need to find an engineer, but I have on my, this goes back to the January 2nd thing. You can go to my shopping cart if you need it today, and I sell this Basic Structural Concepts ebook. And it explains exactly what you need to know about those columns, connecting at both top and bottom. You have to have a clear understanding of that. Here, I'll give you an example of how some carpenters, not all, but some carpenters up here in New Hampshire, they don't understand it. They don't get it. I've seen more decks than not. And my deck was built this way. Can you believe this? Imagine a 6x6 post, and then they just put two 2x8s on top of the 6x6, and they toenail down through the 2x8s into the top of the 6x6. That's how they make the connection. I see that all the time around here. That's insanity. That's crazy. You do not want to do that. All right. So you just have to support the house. You're going to do one post at a time. You're going to take it out. I would not just put the new post on sand. I would pour a footing, probably 24 by 24 by 6 to 8 inches thick, a couple of pieces of rebar in it. And then, of course, your big problem is going to be even though you get treated lumber for direct burial, I have photos on my website to show that termites eat treated lumber. All right. So you just have to somehow you have to be able to treat, or you have every few years, you've got to mix up some of that termite juice. You can buy the termite soil stuff. It's not the good stuff anymore. They outlawed the really great stuff. Chloridane, that was the really good stuff. Anyway, you have to be able to pour this stuff around those posts every 2 to 3 years. I would, to really try to keep the termites away. So anyway, you can do this. Let's see if I can get caught up here. Talon says, I'm actually fitting a plumbing truck now. Good for you. What about having a plumbing license? Well, so here's what the deal is. It depends on what your state says. All right, wherever you're at. And even if you tell me the state, I don't care. It's okay, but you're moving to West Virginia. All right, so I don't know what the law is in West Virginia, but West Virginia, I can tell you this: West Virginia, for the most part, is a very rural state. There's Charleston's a big city, and I'm trying to think of the Wheeling, West Virginia is another big city. You generally need a license to be able to pull a permit, but for repair work, depending on what the law says, you generally don't have to be licensed. And I can tell you that when I was in business, I never had a customer, when I knocked at the door, I never had a customer said, stop, don't come into my home. I need to see your license. No one ever asked me that. So I can't answer your question. I mean, it's great. I mean, I was a licensed master plumber in Ohio and Cincinnati, but no one ever asked me for it. The only reason I had to have it was to be able to get, to be able to pull a permit on a new job or a big remodeling job. And here's another thing. I don't know if West Virginia is like Ohio, but in Ohio, get this, in the counties in Ohio, and I don't know if it's still the same, but in Hamilton County, for me to be able to pull a permit, all I had to do was post a $3,000 bond, which only cost $50 a year at the time. A $3,000 bond is all. And that quote unquote made you a master plumber. So it may be the same in West Virginia, meaning you just have to post a bond and you can pull a permit. So just look into it. See what they say. Chimp with the car. Thank you. You're welcome. You're very welcome. Just, you know what to do. Go to the top of the chat thing. If I helped you, because YouTube hasn't given us the button, go buy me a mocha chip ice cream cone. I appreciate it. I can't wait to see at the end of the chat, to see in my email if there's a bunch of orders for mocha chip ice cream cones. It's good stuff. Really. If you've not had mocha chip, I highly recommend it. Really good stuff. What else can I help you with today? What other problems do you have with your home? These are some great questions. Talon, Chimp. Those are really, really good situations. And you're going to do good on your plumbing business. I'll give you a quick final tip, Talon, if you're still here. You have to have 2 pairs of shoes if you're doing service work for homeowners. All right. You have your outside shoes and you have your inside shoes. You're going to also buy, they're really inexpensive. Painters call them runners. All right. So what a runner is, it's a drop cloth, but it's not these giant, huge rectangles and squares like 12 by 14. It's just maybe 20 feet long by 3 feet wide. And you're going to have quite a few of those in your truck. And when you first come to the door to do work on someone's home, and here's what you already know. You've already talked to them on the phone. They've already emailed you. You already know the problem. You're going to have the runners with you in your arm. You're going to have your indoor pair of shoes with you, and you're going to change shoes on the front porch, leave your outdoor shoes out there, and you're going to take the runner and you're going to put the first runner down right away in their house. Without, and they're going to say, "Oh, no, you don't need to do that." No. You say, "Yeah, I need to do this," and the people are going to be blown away because it shows that you respect their home, and this is very important to a lot of people. Very important, and it will get you so much work in the future. You cannot believe it. And just stick with jobs. And the other thing is, if you're too busy, first of all, always return all phone calls. The biggest complaint I get in my email is, quote unquote, the contractors won't call me back. And it just angers people so much because you're treating them with disrespect. It's okay to say no. It's okay to tell a customer, a possible customer, "Thank you for your call, but I am booked up for the next month. Can this wait?" And sometimes they'll say, "Sure." For example, let's just say they got a problem with the toilet in their home, and then your response might be, "Do you have another toilet in the house?" Well, yeah, I do. We have a toilet in the guest bedroom. Well, is it possible for you to just use that guest bedroom toilet until I can show up? So treat your customers with the utmost respect because most other plumbers are not doing this. And as soon as you start doing this, there's going to be a tsunami of customers. You will never not work 40 or 50 hours a week is all I'm going to tell you, because everybody's going to want you to do their job. Here's a great example. I go to a barbershop here in Meredith, New Hampshire. It's an old-fashioned barbershop. There was a barbershop. There were two of them, but they were really bad. And they weren't really barbershops. I mean, they say they're barbershops, but they're not barbershops. So this guy about 5-6 years ago, he was a veteran. I think he served in Iraq. He got his license. He opened up a barbershop, and it's a true old-fashioned barbershop. I mean, they put the shaving cream on the back of your neck. They use the straight razor. I mean, hot towel. It's a real barbershop. So I don't know, maybe 3 years ago, this young woman gets her license. And I must have been one of her first customers. I swear, I must have been. And she was real tentative about cutting my hair. I could tell she was a little nervous. And I told her right up front, I said, "Listen," her name is Michaela. I said, "Michaela," I said, "you need to understand something." I said, "I only look at my hair like 2 or 3 times a day." I said, "I look at it in the morning when I comb it. And then maybe I'll look at it when I brush my teeth during the day. Most of the time I don't. And then maybe I'll look at it at night when I brush my teeth." So I said, "If you make a mistake, I don't care." And guess what? It's going to grow back. So anyway, here I'm getting to the point. So, and the guy who owned the shop, would check on her. In other words, if she's cutting my hair that first or second time, she would do stuff, and then he would come over and check it, and he'd say, "Well, you need to adjust this, need to do that." Turns out within a year, she became a really good barber. All right, now, here's the point, Talon. If you would have, you can actually do this right now if you want to do it, and you can see it. It's hilarious. Actually, this is a great example. Go to the website right now. It's called Rick's Barbershop. So type into Google Rick's Barbershop, Meredith, New Hampshire. All right. So just get to the website. And they have this thing, they use this tool called Reserva to reserve. And just act like you want to schedule. You get your haircut there by appointments. You don't walk in. They have walk-ins on Saturday, but so act like you have to make a reservation for a haircut. So try to go get a haircut with Michaela between now and the rest of between now and January 1st. Just go try to do it. But look at the other barbers that you could get a haircut tomorrow. So that's an example of what's going to happen to you. All right. Now, I don't know if the guys are going to Michaela because she's a great barber, because she is, but she's also an attractive young woman. And, so I think that's part of it too. But anyway, that doesn't interest me. I'm way past that. All right. So anyway, Talon, you respect your customers, your phone, your email, whatever is going to ring off the hook. All right. So here we go, Will. The whole video just got dropped. YouTube error code. I don't know what that means. I'm still streaming. I don't know if you guys are still watching me or not. There, Chimp says I can still see it live. All right. If I could, I got that. Thank you very much, Chimp. So once again, please go to YouTube and complain, but be respectful. Tell them to turn that feature on, but tell them why. Tell him I want to be able to tip him then. It doesn't do any good to do it the next day. I'll forget by then. I'll be busy. I may be sick, whatever. And, because I can't, it's really interesting. Like I said, if you go look at that help page of theirs, they say it is not enabled for live chats or live streaming video. Doesn't make sense to me. It's stupid. We're out of time. Been on for an hour and 1 minute. I'm going to head out of here. My daughter needs some help. I appreciate you watching today. I will be here tomorrow. And I dug out of my clothes, my dresser, my Santa hat. So I'm going to wear it next week. I'm going to bring it up to the cave tomorrow. I'm going to have my Santa hat ready. So I'm going to wear my Santa hat next week, the next 3 days, the last 3 days of the year that I'll be live streaming. And I thank you once again for tuning in. You can help by spreading the word about the live stream. You really, I'm telling you, you want to sign up. You got to go sign up for my newsletter. I'm just telling you. And I'm going to share why. I'm going to share once we get to what's happening. I'm going to devote an entire live stream to it. But you should be on the newsletter. Seriously. All right. Good, Will. I'm going to head out of here. Thank you for watching. I will be here tomorrow. If you have any suggestions about what you want me to cover on the live stream, you just have to put it in the chat, or you just have to email me. It's really simple. Yeah, exactly, Talon. I'm so glad you went there. Yeah, not only a wait list, you can't get in between now and the end of the year. But look at all the other barbers, man. You can get a flipping haircut on Friday. I know. Isn't that crazy? Oh yeah, a hat. Yeah, that'd be pretty hard to do. Kind of be neat to go one half clean, one half dirty. I don't have any dirty hats. So I know. Isn't that crazy? That's going to be you, Talon. That's going to be you, buddy. You treat people with respect. You be fair with them. Completely fair. Here's what you have. Here's the other thing. If you don't already know this, back in the old days, back when I was a young plumber, you could pretty much get away with being a bad plumber because there was no internet. There was no social media. Yeah, there was the Better Business Bureau, but most people were lazy. They never called. They never checked them out. You do something bad today, guess what? It gets put on social media and it never comes off. All right, so you cannot make a mistake. And if you do make a mistake, that's okay. You make it right. You make it right. Simple as that. If you just the golden rule, treat people the way you want to be treated. You don't want to get taken by somebody. You don't want to get, so why would you take advantage of somebody else? That's a rhetorical question. All right. Showbiz. I don't know. There's a great video. It's a commercial. I think it's for an insurance company. Go type into YouTube woodchuck commercial. It's a pretty good commercial. So, some of these corny commercials I really like a lot. Okay, I'm out of here. Thanks for watching, and I'll be here tomorrow. And I don't know yet what we're going to talk about. Doesn't matter because I want you to fuel the the live stream. Your questions make it happen. Oh, okay. All right. I'm going to try to find that woodchuck commercial. Yes. All right, Talent. All right. Good for you. I want you, Talent. I want you to keep us informed of your progress. I'll tell you what would be really cool would be once you make the move to West Virginia, once you're set up, come back to the live stream. Hopefully by then you'll have a little website. And that's another thing you want to do. One last piece of advice. If I could go back in time, one of the biggest mistakes I made, but it was really hard to do when I was a young man. I wish that I would have had, there are tens of thousands of photographs I wish I would have had. So what you need to do is on each job where there's something you're repairing that's really ugly and horrible, take a photograph. Take 5. And that's another thing. If you don't know anything about photography, it's a tough thing. You need to learn. Just don't take you because you look at it, you may think, oh, this is a great photo. Well, your photo may suck. All right. Because you don't know how to take photos. You need to take them from different angles, whatever. But take before photos and then take really good after photos. And just trust me, just do this. And then you start putting them on your website. And because what's going to happen is people will go, well, I have got this problem, blah, 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 blah. And you'll say, no problem. And then you'll text them a page at your website that shows the before, after. And of course, on that same page of your website is just like with Michaela, is the schedule button. So they can schedule you, sell them. You've already sold them. As soon as they see the great workmanship you do, they're saying sold. Take my money. Remember what is it? I've never watched The Simpsons, but I've seen that where Homer Simpson's like waving his money. Take my money. Take my money. All right. So they're going to be wanting you. They're going to throw their money at you, throw their credit card at you. Take it, by gosh. And that's the other piece of advice. No billing. No, you get paid that day. You're not sending bills out. Get that little square thing. Get on your phone, whatever the technology is now. You don't leave their home until you have been paid. Period. Simple as that. You're not sending a bill out. You're getting paid that day. And I know they're going to ding you. I've been paying it for 40 years. MasterCard and Visa, they ding me 3%. Okay, big deal. Just raise your prices 3% to cover that fee. That's what all the other businesses in the world do. All right, simple as that. I have not watched Essential Craftsman yet. I'm solid. I have not watched it yet. I'll make that note again. I'll try to do it tomorrow, but no guarantees. I'm writing it down. Okay, I'm out of here. Thanks so much for watching. Thanks for the like buttons. Thanks for the ice cream cone if you bought me one. I haven't seen. I can't check my orders. Yeah, I got to go too. Got to go. Have a great night. I'll be here tomorrow and spread the word about the live stream. I'm Tim Carter, and this is Ask the Builder. Bye.